Hi everybody, it is day 4 reading time. I need you to grab a pencil and your progress books. We are going to be working on page 58. We have been reading an explanatory text, and it's been explaining and giving us information about how and why erosion happens. We learned about examples of erosion by water when we read about the Grand Canyon and the Cape Hatteras Lighthouse. Today we're going to learn about erosion by ice and erosion by wind. So let's go right up to the top. Paragraph 6, erosion by ice. Erosion by ice is a direct effect of the movement of glaciers. Glaciers are large mountains of ice and rock. In cold areas, glaciers move across the land. Moving glaciers pick up dirt and sediment. Those are small rocks and pieces of dirt left behind by water and ice, which scrape across the land and wear away at the ground. As the ground breaks down under the glacier, valleys and river basins are created. A basin is just a really low-lying area on the Earth's surface. One example of erosion by ice is the Finger Lakes area of New York. When a glacier eroded the landscape, it created large basins that filled with water and became the Finger Lakes. Okay, erosion by wind. Wind is another cause of erosion. As wind blows across the land, it picks up particles. Those are just little tiny pieces or very small pieces of sand and soil and moves them to different locations. Some particles contribute to the creation of new natural formations, but particles can also wear away existing landforms. Here's how. As wind blows, it picks up small particles of dirt and sand. Sometimes the dirt and sand are blown into large piles, creating sand dunes. At other times, the wind blows against the rock faces of mountains and other formations. Particles of dirt and sand act like a sandblaster, smoothing and eroding the rock and changing its structure. Page 59. Arches National Park in Utah is a natural structure formed by wind erosion. The wind blew against the rock faces for a very long time, smoothing them. The only parts of the rock left behind were naturally occurring arches. There are more than 2,000 arches located in the park. The largest arc, Landscape Arch, is 306 feet long from base to base. Imagine the power it took to create a 306-foot-long arch. Even today, the harsh winds of the Utah desert erode the rocks, and the shapes of the arches change. Who knows what the arches will look like 1,000 or 100,000 years from now. And here you can see an example of an arch from the text. I'm definitely adding Arches National Park to my bucket list. So when I'm heading out in my RV that I'm going to rent, I'm going to stop here. All right, so let's go to the site evidence. A. It says in paragraph 6, circle the example that the author uses to illustrate the effects of erosion by ice. Circle the specific example that illustrates wind erosion in paragraph 8. All right, so when I go to 6, I know that the ice erosion, it says one example of erosion by ice is the Finger Lakes area of New York. And then when I go to paragraph 8, it was all about those arches. So it is Arches National Park in Utah. Okay, site evidence B. In paragraph 7, underline the details that tell about the effects of a wind erosion. What inference can you draw from these details? All right, so let's go to paragraph 7, and let's look carefully at the last sentences. Right here, it says, some particles contribute to the creation of new natural formations, but particles can also wear away existing landforms. So I'm going to underline that. Now, if you look at the bullet points, if I was going to draw an inference about this, I'm going to say that wind erosion, it takes a lot longer to break things down, but when it says it acts like a sandblaster, I know sand feels really gritty, and when it rubs against those rocks, the wind must be pretty powerful to be making rocks, which are so hard, erode and fall to pieces. All right, what I want you to do on page 59 is to answer questions 1, 2, and 3. Obviously, with 3, you can't do it with a partner, but I want you to draw an inference here. Please give me a sentence or two for this, and we will talk about it when you come back to school later this week.